All right. Hello, 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 everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. It's a Wednesday here in the Crafty Casita, so that means Funfold. And I just did my live, so if you've stumbled across this video, my name is Jennifer Alea. I am an independent Step It Up demonstrator here in Yuma, Arizona. I love all things paper crafting fun. Like I mentioned, I just did my live, and so you can browse my channel. And I have videos where I've created lots of different cards, um, lots of fun folds. And if you sign up for my email list, you get the weekly fun fold recipe. So um, once I do the video, and typically once I do the video, then I create the email, it gets sent out to you, and you get to have paper crafting fun too. So it's like win-win, right? Um, like I said, this is a fun fold video. Today we're going to be showcasing some designer series paper, which we call DSP, and we're starting out with a whole sheet of cardstock. So this is a good one. Hopefully, you guys. What was I going to say? So if you find me on Facebook at JLea Crafts, right? You can find me here, JLea Crafts. I put a graphic up, and then I would love to see your creations that you come up with when you follow this recipe. So let's switch the table camera view, right? Because that's where all the fun happens at the crafting desk. Like I said, this is where you can find me on all the socials. And today's card, um, we are not going to be doing any seasonal card because, well, because, but I have two samples to show you. So let me show you the card we're going to be making. So here's the card. Look at how cute this guy is. Very floral. I've been thinking about wildflowers a lot lately. The last couple days, one of the authors that I follow, she's written a book and it's talking about wildflowers. But I'm also about ready to plant some seeds in the Crafting Casita garden that hopefully at some point will grow some wildflowers. So that's where this card is inspired. But I also have this guy, and of course, Halloween is right around the corner. And who wouldn't love this adorable card, right? So, really, this card, it's all about, well, every fun fold is about measurements. But this one, particularly, we're going to get it. You're going to need a really good score and burnish. So, I believe that's what it's called. We're going to burnish it with the bone folder. All right. So we are going to start, as you can see, this is a whole Darling Duckling right here. So we're going to start with a whole sheet of Darling Duckling. Let me, and we're going to get the trimmer out because I haven't even done any of this, but we're going to, on the long side, right? This is the long side. We're going to score at 5.5. Okay. Make sure that you have your score blade and not your cutting blade. Otherwise, it's not the card we want. We would just save that for later, right? Okay. And then we're going to flip it on the short end, and we're going to score at 2 1/8. Okay. And then we're going to flip it around and score on 2 1/8 again. I found this to be the easiest way to do it versus giving you like the 6 and I think it's 6 7/8. But that way you don't have to swing the arm out, right? Okay. Now we are going to cut these panels out. So you're like, what? How are we going to do that? we're going to take our cutting blade. I'm going to start at the 5.5 score line and go up. And then I'm going to move it all the way over and do the same thing over here. I'm going to start at the score line. And this trimmer, I love our trimmer because there are little lines right here. So it gives you a good indication of where that blade is, right? And then we can turn it and go down to the score line. And you can always trim it just a little bit. That one pops out. Wonderful. We're going to flip this over so that you guys can see, right? I'm going to start at the score line and go up. Oops, tried to pull the wrong piece of paper out. So this is what our card base looks like, okay? Now we are going to do some folding. So I'm going to get out my bone folder. I love this bone folder. I typically use, I always use the edge. I don't use these guys right here so much. Yeah, for me, it's easier to press down on it like so. And you want to press pretty hard on this because you want to break up those fibers so that you get a pretty flat fold. Oops. Right. And then once, because there's some thickness here, right, we're going to, I'm going to trim off this little guy right here so that it folds just a little sweeter, like so, because I was right on that score line. Yeah. Okay. And we are going to push really hard so that it folds flat. Okay. If you're crafting on a table that has a little give, like probably your kitchen counter is the best place, right? Because you have desks will give a little depending on the material your desk is made out of. Okay, so this is our card base right here. Okay, now I have pieces of designer series paper, and I was going to show you guys because I did already cut, but I wanted to show you what I did. I have, these are 5 1/4, and this is 5 1/4 or 5. It's 5. So it's 5 inches long. So I took a piece of designer series paper and I cut it to, I did 5 1/4 because I wanted these panels 5 1/4. And then I cut the strips so they're all like lined up, right? Can you guys see that? This is, do I have the piece of paper? I think I do. Let me show you. Oh, where is that piece of paper? Right here. It's so pretty. I love this paper. It's gorgeous. And I think it's on the last chance sale or last chance list right now. So here's the piece of paper, right? So I just cut this 5 1/4, and then I cut one at, this guy right here is 3 3/4, and then I cut this guy down to 5 inches because I'm adding another layer. Then these guys I cut like they're 5 1/4, and then 2 2 2 and 2. Okay. So you don't have to have your designer series paper match up like this, but I just thought this was kind of a fun way because the paper's so pretty. And it's gonna go, we're gonna do some layering. That's not what I want. We're gonna do some layering like this. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start that. Oops. All right. I know when we moved here to Yuma, Arizona, and Yuma in the wintertime is the lettuce capital of North America. If you eat lettuce in the winter, most likely it was grown in this area. But who knew that you could grow so much? Like I have basil. I have just in the last a year and a half, I guess, I started a little garden outside my crafting casita, and I am enjoying coming out here in the morning and getting my hands a little dirty. And like yesterday, I got to take my parents some basil, like a big giant stalk of basil. So I never thought that you could grow so much stuff here in the desert Southwest, but you can. Okay, so this, and then I want to do this over here, like so. You guys see that? Oops. So we're going to add these guys. Now you could do you could stamp all this. You could do any kind of designer series paper configuration here, but I liked that everything was kind of connected like that. Okay, so there's our card. Now let's do a little stamping. I'm trying to decide what to do first. Let's go ahead and cut out some leaves. So in this suite of this Impressions of Bloom, yes, Impressions of Bloom, there's dies, and within those dies, I can show you the dies. They're pretty cool. They have these modern oval dies in them that are very nice, but you could do lots of flower building with all these dies, plus these leaves. You can never, I'm going to say, you can never have too many leaf dies because they're all certain types and it's all good, right? And I guess we're going to use Garden Green because that's what I have sitting here. On the sample, I did not use Garden Green, but let's just go with it. And we're going to get, where's my other plate? Should be here. Oh, where? It's resting out my little box. All right. So we're going to cut these guys out using our die machine. And I should tell you, if you're watching this in the month of October 2025, Stampin' Up! Is having an amazing deal right now, and you can get this stamp and emboss machine. You pay $99 and you get $189 worth of product that you pick, and so you could include this machine if you join. I would love to have you join my team. We're blessed crafters, and we get together and we have paper crafting fun. Because of course we do. Actually have a team meeting tonight or this afternoon in person. If you're not local, that's okay. I am going to be starting like a mystery stamping for my team. I've got a couple ladies that are not local, and so I thought that would be a fun way to get together. So if you're interested, let me know. We could chat. Okay. So there's this. I have another piece of designer series paper, which is this one, which is what, 2 by 4. And this is actually just one of the panels that I cut down to 2 1/4. No, 2 1/8. It already is a 2 1/8. And it's 4 1/4. This is why I send you the directions or the measurements so that I hopefully, if I say it wrong, hopefully I write it correctly. Or if I, well, I haven't been told that I've made any mistakes in the measurements, but if I do, definitely let me know. I'll own up to that. Okay, we're going to add this guy to the front, and I'm going to put it down just a little bit like this, down here. Now, I am not going to use any dimensionals on this card because it's pretty thick on its own, right? We've got a piece of cardstock that is folded over a handful of times. So, okay. So this so far, we've got this. Now, let's see inside. I am going to take this scrap piece right here, and I'm going to stamp just to brighten your day. And that comes from this stamp set right here. And honestly, I don't know if it's still available, but when you get the email, if it's on the supply list, that means it's available. Um, and I am loving this guy right here, Just to Brighten Your Day. I think it's just a great sentiment to add to a card, because sometimes you just need a little. Um, ooh, I almost put that whole thing against my shirt. Okay. Now I have punches, and I'm going to be using the 1 3/4 punch to stamp or to punch this out. And then I'm going to use the 2-inch punch on a piece of strawberry slush. And that's going to go behind it. So we're going to go like this. I guess we'll put that over there. So I'm going to add this like so. And I just put adhesive kind of in the middle of the circle, right? I add this to the front of the card, and then I add these leaves. I typically kind of tuck things underneath, so that's why I only add adhesive in the middle, because you just never know where you might want to tuck those little guys. Okay, so that is the front of our card, and we're really just letting the designer series paper do all the work, right? It's gorgeous paper, why not? Now we are going to do the inside, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping, a little bit more stamping, I should say. So we are going to take the Strawberry Slush ink pad. And did I show you guys the stamp set? I'm not sure I did that. So a flower set, and it's a builder set. So we're going to stamp this guy, and then the middle. We're going to do it by the way that I do it is I take the flat piece, I ink it up, I stamp off, and then I stamp onto my project. Okay. And then I take the detail piece, I ink it up, and I am going to stamp it over the piece that I already stamped. Okay. And then let's take, we have pecan pie and we have shaded spruce. I'm going to use the pecan pie for the middle of the flower, like so, and shaded spruce for the leaves. I typically will do leaves in threes, just like I do bling. But they don't all have to show, if that makes sense. I may just do a little like down there. There you go. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to leave it at that, just a blank card. Sometimes you want to write a great message on the inside, especially if you're thinking of somebody. Who would you send this card to? Let me know in the comments. So here is our card. There we go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this fun fold video. Thank you. If you could like and subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And let me see what happens. Ooh. Yay. For my live video today, I was tapping, like, if I could remember the easy way to switch screens. All right, guys. If you could like and subscribe to my channel, let me know you watched. If you're watching the replay, everybody's watching the replay. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Say hi. If you create a card using this recipe, don't forget to post it on my Facebook page. I would appreciate it. All right, guys. I will be back next Wednesday for all things paper crafting fun. I hope you get to have a little bit of paper crafting fun today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.